Wonder if this is even a friendly city now. Weird. Or are we not even going to Lethien's Crossing? We're just going to the Spire instead. I don't know. Unlike most enemies, Bane deals a large amount of arcane damage. Interesting. Oh, this is definitely a city. Oh, sweet. These are disfavored. Welcome to Lethien's Crossing, Fatebinder.
Sorry, I can't.
Thank you. I love seeing friendly faces. After what just happened. Wow. Earthshaker, my duty awaits. Okay. So this is Alias and Laurent. Laurent seems to be part of Lethien's Crossing, okay. And you know the law. These products are contraband. You are not allowed to bring them into or sell them in Lethien's Crossing. Fatebinder, your assistance, please. I need your help before this brute takes my belongings. What is the issue here? It's robbery. That's the issue here. This soldier stopped me and is going to confiscate my goods. I need you to educate. Alright. You know the situation is not that simple, Lauren, but if you wish to petition our, for education, I will present my case to the Fatebinder. If you bring me into this, you must abide by my decision. Do you both agree? Of course I do. I'm in the right, and I know you will see things my way. I will abide by your decision, Fatebinder. Okay, what is your grievance? To Lauren. We merely wish to sell these items here in town. The goods themselves are not against the law, and there's nothing wrong with them. But Alias is trying to confiscate them. To Alice, rather. Why are you threatening to confiscate this man's goods? He's attempting to bring goods he's attempting to bring goods in obtained from illegal sources. We do not allow Chorus bought products to be sold in Lethien's Crossing. This policy is well known. He should not be surprised that we are taking his goods. You are attempting to sell goods from an illegal supplier? Where we got them is of no consequence. The goods themselves are not legal and are needed in Lethien's Crossing. The petty feud between this favor and the Scarlet Chorus has no bearing in this transaction. So these goods aren't illegal? Why would you confiscate them? Purchase and sale the items from both the Bronze Brotherhood and the Scarlet Chorus are illegal. The law is the law. Just because someone doesn't agree with the law doesn't mean they can ignore it. Okay, so the Bronze Brotherhood is a mercenary company from the free cities dotting the Tyr's southern coast. Many of these mercenary companies were employed by Kairos agents and slaughtered during the war. The Bronze Brotherhood survived thanks to their relatively safe posting at Lethien's Crossing, where the boys of Naran hired the company to help protect the village during the town's forge operation. Among the most trained and dedicated warriors of the Tyrs, the Bronze Brotherhood have a reputation for ruthlessness and tenacity. Aggression and decisive thinking are so highly prized by the Brotherhood that the violent, enigmatic Scourge is the group's mascot. A creature most decent folk consider to be the stuff of nightmares. The term brother is used for mercenaries in both genders, as the company's title harkens back to the archaic notions of living as men. In Tyr's custom, this amounts to releasing all claims to lands. To better assure an employer that the Brotherhood will covet the realms that they're paid to protect. I'm ready to make my decision. Do you have anything? Do either of you have anything else to say? These goods could benefit the people of Lethien's Crossing, and it would be a waste to destroy them. We should be allowed to sell them here. These goods were obtained through illegal means. They should be confiscated. They are breaking the law, and everything else is irrelevant. No, he didn't actually tell me, or even tell me what the goods are. So, like, how do I know that they can actually help people? Um. I'm doing this, whatever. The goods will not be confiscated, but instead will be distributed to the townsfolk for free. But Fatebinder, how can this be? We agree to stand by the decision, Lord, and so we shall. The Fatebinder has spoken. Move along. It is a shame. It is a shame that such blatant disregard of the law is allowed. But I swore to stand by your ruling. So be it, Fatebinder. Yeah, well, you did. So, have fun with that.
Right.
Merchant Praxis. Good day, my fine friend. Could I interest you in all manners of provisions? There's no telling what may befall you on your travels. Yeah, tell me about it. We could be attacked by lunatics. Whoa. Quality exquisite? Oh, this guy is selling some stuff that I can't afford at all, and it's too bad. Not that I want a great spear. Dang, this guy has some really good stuff. We're in the game now. Oathbound, I've never seen this type of class before. I wonder if that's a mercenary. It has to be. Merchant, Basila. Yeah, we should just start buying stuff, huh? I think they'll do that off camera, though. Oh, really? All these merchants? Wow. Greetings and salutations. The jolly merchant greets you with a smile and a clap on the shoulder. And welcome to Lethien's Crossing, home of the best merchant in the entirety of the tiers. Really? Oh, okay. Never mind. He pauses and winks. That would be me. Harchian Bronze at your service. What can I do for you? What can you do for me? Is there... Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, sir.
Can't do that.
Lethien's mistress? Okay. What a pleasure it is to see you in my establishment, Fateminder. Always an honor to entertain someone of your standing at Lethien's mistress. If you have need of entertainment or company for a short time, then we can look to fulfilling those needs. How may I and my entertainers be of service to you? Tell me more about your establishment. Lethien's mistress started as a safe place for people to come and drink in secret, but eventually we evolved to a gathering place where drinking and, her eyes twinkle as she considers her words. It evolved into a gathering place for drinking, where drinking and fornication were both common activities. Everyone needs a way to relax, and I provide one for them. Do you have food and drink? We have plenty to eat and drink if your desires include those of a less carnal nature. Okay. Yep, that's pretty much food and drink. What? The young woman smiles, her eyes widening with innocence. Welcome to Lethien's mistress, Fateminder, she says, blushing lightly. My name is Zotika, she giggles. Are you here to teach me the ways of the world? What can I offer you that the others can't? If you would spend okay. If you would spend time with me, I will play Novice Sage in the Burning Library. She steps closer, her breasts brushing lightly against you. I'm lost in your fate finder. If I don't behave, I'll be punished. She exhales lightly and looks around. Do I need to be punished? Tell me about yourself. Her face blushes bright red, and she turns her head, covering her mouth with her hand rather. Me? She asks quietly, her voice shy. Well, why do you want to know about me? I'm a simple girl, and I know nothing of this world or my place in it. She looks into your eyes. Are you here to teach me? Nope. Now, Timo. Right. Are there any normal people here? Nope, I guess not. I will take this and leave. But I guess I wouldn't expect that from a brothel. I kind of wish we had another melee fighter, but I also know that I got rid of another one of our melee fighters. So that's fantastic. Because I feel like I need to figure out I need to figure out how to keep our spellcasters alive. Because once I can figure that out, we should be good. No named people here. Just gonna loot everything, of course. Gonna continue looting everything. Is this the spire over here? Oh,
Have a look here.
yes, please. Oh, yeah. There's a cat. What if we just start going in buildings? Because there seem to be a lot of things that we can just, like, go into and explore. Like this, for example. Lethien is our cheerleader. I don't know who Lethien is, but okay. Could I just loot your house? Is this considered stealing? Let's see if it... I don't know if this is considered stealing. If this is considered stealing, I'm actually gonna load. But apparently it's not, so alright. You know, I'm gonna consider this them letting me have it. Even though, yes, I know it could probably help them, but whatever. If the game mechanics aren't going to stop me from doing it, I mean... if this was actually labeled as stealing, I would not do it, to be perfectly honest. But since it's not, I consider it not different than what I'm doing right now, which is going through barrels and just taking stuff. And who knows, maybe there might be some spell sigil, for example. Whoa, Phaedra and Dea. A bright-faced woman greets you as you approach. Welcome to Lethien's Crossing, Wanderer. My name is Phaedra, and this is my beautiful wife, Dea. She indicates the stone-faced blonde woman standing next to her, who holds up her hand in quick greeting. What brings you to town? Is there anything I could help you with? How do you feel about this favor? I don't have any issue with them. Their curfew may be a bit strict, and it gets hard to keep track of every rule they invent and all the regulations they they've enacted. Otherwise, they left us alone to live our lives. Anything is better than having the Brotherhood, Dea exclaims. Give me 200 rules for every Brotherhood member driven from this town. Okay. What can you tell me about the town? I've lived here most of my life, but honestly, I'm not sure there's much to say. She looks contemplative. We're a center for trade and a waypoint for travelers. The walls are a little scary, but you get used to them over time. She looks at Dea. What about you, dear? Dea shrugs, her expression never changing. What is there to say? The town is all right, but living under the thumb of an occupying force makes it hard to truly relax. Phaedra puts her hand on Dea's shoulders, and Dea sighs. Sorry we couldn't be more help. Phaedra shrugs sheepishly. You haven't always lived here? Several years before Kairos' invasion, I moved away from Lethien's Crossing. Being the granddaughter of Lethien came with responsibility I wasn't ready for. I met Dea in the Bastard City and decided to stay for a while. We were living in the Bastard City when we heard about Kairos' forces moving to Tears. So we took that as our motivation to move. She laughs. And I think we got out of there at just the right time. We traveled with a bit of caravans, but nothing seemed like home until I returned to Lethien's Crossing. You never realize just how much you can miss a place until you've been away for a while. She wraps her arms around Dea and squeezes. But I could live anywhere as long as this one is with me. It's true that trade hasn't been as vibrant here recently, but I'm sure it's simply a temporary setback. The merchants will sing and dance for you, trying to convince you their suppliers are unaffected, but everyone is feeling it. I have faith that the world will set itself right soon enough. People call me a fool, but I don't see the benefit in bemoaning your fate. You take what life hands you and make it work. You're Lethien's granddaughter? One of many, I suspect, but I'm not the one who knows any. I'm the only one anyone knows about. And before you ask, no, Lethien is not my father. Maybe you haven't heard, but my grandmother wasn't exactly the settling down type. Thank you for your time. Well, we're a bit more than travelers. Also, I'm gonna loot your house. Iron cuirass. Interesting. That's actually pretty heavy armor. Yep, I'm just gonna continue looting this entire place until something happens. Camping supplies. Biotis, who are you? Wait, who are you? Forge bound. Okay, that's a completely separate faction, apparently. Welcome, friend, the merchant cries out to you, his belt jingling with rings. He waves his arms about in a dramatic presentation of his wares. What brings you to my humble trading post? Have a certain something in mind, or just browsing? What do you have? Is there anyone that sells swords? Sigil of Fire. Well, that'd be a waste if I bought that. What is this? Sigil of Volcanic Weapon. The scroll contains a magical accent which causes a material force spell to grant burning strikes that damage target in a line. That's not really what I would think a volcanic weapon would be, but okay. I'm still gonna buy it. And I want to see what this is. Sigil of Volcanic Weapon. Is this a... Where... It's an accent, right? Crossfire. What can we actually combine that with? Interrupt Sigil? I'm finding it weird that I can't use volcanic weapon with any fire spells, but okay. Well, the Scarlet Chorus currently hates us, so that's interesting. What do we have here? Oh, cool. Once again, Plan's Headhunter. The mythical blade known as the Headhunter. Wow.
That wasn't so hard.
And a forge-bound hammer.
Can't do that.
Okay, master of craft casting rather. Olantis surveys the room with an air of superiority. He addresses you without making eye contact. Is there something you want? What do you do here in the forge? I keep things running smoothly. Upkeep mostly. He smiles coyly. Well, coyly. I am also second in command to Lohara, so in case anything ever happens to her, I'm here to take charge. Is there a problem? His eyes carefully watch Lohara as he answers you, rather. Yes, but these are forge-bound matters, nothing that concerns the High Court of Tunon, I can assure you. Lohara, a muscular woman, stands upright from her forge and turns to look at you, the light of fire playing across her face, making her eyes dance dangerously. A toothy smile breaks across her mouth, the only bright spot on her soot-stained face. Do you kill with your left hand or your right? She rubs blackened palms together, eyeing you expectantly. Normally I could tell at a glance, but you are a little harder to read. Left? No, right. I'm gonna say left. Noted. She grips her belt and cinches it, rattling the picks, owls, and pliers that dangle from its various hooks. I am Lohara, master of tempering and forge master of Lethien's Crossing. My tasks exceed the hours left in the day, but there is no harm in pausing in my work if it means speaking with the Honorable Fatefinder. How may I be of assistance? Why did you want to know if I kill with my right or left hand? The gauntlet is the hardest piece of the panoply. Well, panoply, and the most rewarding to work. So many scales of so many different sizes, and then there's the rivets. She slides her thumb and fingers together, shedding flecks of soot and iron dust. I imagine you see a lot of battle in your line of work. One gauntlet is invariably going to wear out before the other. My mind is always thinking about what will need repairs first. It's as simple as that. Are you well? You look weary. Ecstatic. Her voice is matter of fact, and the smile creeps in. The ritual of forge links hammered heart. My blood beats only when I strike my ingot. My forge runs too hot and my breath becomes too hurried. The bond is both fatiguing and exhilarating. Couldn't that kill you? I should hope so, she laughs, her face blushing the color of molten metal. Better than being defiled. and killed by brigands, poisoned by grain rot, or slain by childbirth. Would not a soldier wish to die in battle? Is that how you excel in your craft? Well, that in practice, she scowls. But yes, rituals link the senses to the materials, and the body to the tools. My hand becomes their joint, the hammer the true end of my arm. I feel the heat in the forge as if it were the weather of the room. Under such circumstances, true energies can emerge. Tell me about the disfavored. The disfavored have treated us as honored guests. We are given privacy, autonomy, food, and protection. In return, we give them the best iron in the tiers, and they put it to use. She shrugs. A favorable arrangement. But I am no fool that I read too much into kindness. We are a war resource and exist only because we feed their insatiable need for iron, quality iron. Tell me about the Forge Mound. For centuries, my guild has sought the union of magical and manual perfection, while others concern themselves with the arcane for the sake of inordinate power. We study it to overcome the traditional limits of our arts and crafts. The forge is our dominant concentration of study, but not all forge-bound work metal. Some are weavers, carpenters. One of our otter members fancies himself a chef. The wise and mighty Kairos has been kind to our guild. He offered to put our weapons and armor in the hands of those who would change the world. A broad smile overcomes her face. And he's been true to his word. Forge-bound iron has trampled the tears and all that oppose Kairos' forces. And all that oppose Kairos' forces rest their heads on forge-bound spears. How exactly does your magic help you make things? Our most important ritual binds the crafter tools and materials into one entity? She cracks a nervous smile. Close enough. In my own work, the forge bind draws the whole of my senses into the edge of the blade I'm tempering. I can sense the tiniest notch or touch my finger to the blade and feel the razor sharpness without breaking my skin. Such perfect execution of the art has its costs, of course. One's heart and lungs have become linked to flame and hammer. A dropped hammer can lead to a stopped heart. Most of our members die in the throes of their work, killed by a distraction or simple error. She blushes. We lose a lot of apprentices. Why make weapons if you could kill foes with magic? Why walk if you could pay porters to carry you? She shakes her head with a huff. We have ways to protect ourselves from those who would abuse us, but we study the arcane for the purpose of building, not destroying. We leave that to the others. They can take our implements and use them to sow chaos if they choose. I would rather take chaos and force order on it. What can you tell me about the Forge-bound Master? Zedenya is the best leader I've had the pleasure of working under. She guides the Forge-bound with a steady yet stern hand, guaranteeing all of our work is of the utmost quality and peerless in every regard. I am Zedenya's second, which is why I am the Forge Master for Lethien's Crossing. She points to Ulantis. He is my second, should anything happen to me. I haven't worked with him long, so I don't know much about him or the true, long-lasting quality of his work. But he was appointed by Zedenya, so he must be good at what he does. Can you make me something magical? No, she smiles and shakes her head. But almost everyone asks. Relics of arcane power must grow into themselves. They can never be made from nothing. She points her finger into the air and smiles. But what I can do is use my magic to swing my hammer with perfect precision, or work a cantrip to handle molten metal with my bare hands. We can build artifacts of exceeding quality and refinement, but they must be used in great deeds to grow into relics of power. And that is why we seek to put the works of our forges in the hands of the greats. True legends require the alliance of sword maker and sword master. Tell me about Lethien's Crossing. I don't see much, only this, she points to the roof and walls of the forge. Lethien and her merchant crew settled this area a while back. The brave fools built bridges over the old walls and made themselves a crossroads, trading post. Real pioneer spirit stuff. The whole place might have been ignored by Kairos' forces, except somebody discovered there's iron everywhere. Can't wash your clothes in the river without them coming out tinged rather. So the iron made Lethien's crossing important enough for Kairos to want him for himself. It made good sense to move some of us forge-bound here to Lethien's crossing. Easier to put us near the iron instead of shipping it over the mountains. That and this is a crossroads. We can supply our allies faster than ever from our new workshop. Can you make something for me? Can? She lifts an eyebrow. Most certainly. Well, Kairos invented queues for a reason. She lets slip a sigh. I have every Iron Walker and every Scarlet Chorus ringleader sending me bribes and flattery in hopes that I'll work off schedule and make some special this or one of a kind that. Her mouth moves as if to speak, but she falls silent, folding her arms. I did not realize their request was so thoughtless. My apologies. Wow, okay. I get unreasonable demands every day, but it's not the volume, it's the purpose. She lowers her voice to a near whisper and steps closer to you. I do resent that Kairos' demands reduce our work to mere quotas. I should be allowed to customize my work for every soldier. Our apprentices have anything to learn from making the same size helmet again and again. Okay. Oh, only apprentices. Never mind. Got it. Forget I asked. Then I will. Okay. Next location, I suppose. I'm gonna look at Ebb's skill tree, actually. If I could make her a melee combatant, I'm gonna take auto level off. I don't know if I can. We'll see. Title, Grave Light. Okay, this is very much not melee at all. Interesting. So if I go into Runic Barrier, that will actually improve her survivability a little bit anyways. Well, I mean, to be honest, she seems to be a caster through and through, whereas Lantry seems like he could be kind of a meleeer, but not really, ironically. I almost can, like, okay, so on my 6th level, I can't do anything too impressive. Ooh, bronze and iron, sweet. I can't do anything impressive with my 6th level. But on my 7th level that I put into magic, that's when I can start having flame attacks, and that's going to be really awesome. This town is pretty big, but I mean, this is kind of what you expect from an RPG town.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like stuff. Free stuff. Nothing too... What is this? Oh, plus 10 subterfuge. Hello. That's pretty cool. Okay, that was fast. Just loot and go. Loot and go. Maybe I could actually increase the range of Lantry's heal. I think it's called Renewal Touch or something like that. If I could just put like 2 more meters on it, that's good enough to like not have to, in some cases anyway, it's prompt a disengagement strike.
That wasn't so hard.
Aquamarine and Jasper. What is this, I wonder? I wonder if this is like City Hall or something. Or are we just in the Spire right now? Well, there seems to be a dead body here, so that's great. Disfavored corpse. Is there hostile things in here?
See that?
I mean, if there is, I'm leaving. And I'm gonna, like, prepare a bit better than what we currently are prepared as. Yeah, I don't know what's in here, so I'm leaving. Because at least out there, I can have a decent idea of what's going on. I wonder if we could rest at Lethien's Mistress, like, in a normal way. Or if there's a more reputable inn around here that I haven't spotted yet. Because after doing our first battle with the Bronze Brotherhood, I definitely feel like we need to be a lot more prepared than how we were before. Kalea and Kalyan. Oh, okay. What does he have to say? He doesn't have anything to say either. So I'm just gonna loot you and leave. Maybe there's side quests or something. Did we go up here? Let's see on the map. The Sunrise District. That doesn't seem to mean anything. Old walls. Okay, so got it. Vintara. Who is Vintara? Did I speak with her? Was that the merchant? Oh no. Vintara is definitely not the merchant. Hello, Vintara. You have the Iron Marshal's armor, so that's interesting. Good day to you, Fatebinder. The soldier gives you a brief salute. She then stands at attention. My name is Vintara. Welcome to Lethien's Crossing. Commander! It's been a while since I took leave at the crossing. Glad to see you have everything in order. Barrick nods. Barrick, I haven't seen you since the Martin Stalwart. It seems you've done well for yourself since then. She looks him up and down. What happened to you out there? I picked up some extra baggage along the way. Nothing I can't handle. Well, you look like a mess. You look a mess. First chance I get, I want to see you in proper uniform. Understood? Without waiting for... I think that's supposed to be a joke. Anyways. Without waiting for a response, she returns to attention. What can I help you with? How's the situation with the Bane been? That depends on your point of view. If you're one of those ring counters, the situation has been just fine. The disfavored have been here to continue the fight off the Bane just as you commanded years ago. The settlement is safe, though we bear this burden alone and paid for it in blood. Okay. Can you give me some information on what's been happening at Lethien's Crossing? Our current orders are to garrison Lethien's Crossing. We are to secure the safety of the Forge Bound, the sanctity of Kairos' laws, and the well-being of the settlers. And we're dealing with a gang of Free City's mercenaries. We need to club back to the setting sun. She coughs nervously. Well, that's not the official order, but you get the idea. There's a small matter of a thief in town, but I will not bother you with such trifles right now. I'm sure my soldiers can handle it. Okay. Travel well, Fateminder. That was very... not as informative as I thought it was going to be. Especially since she's the commander of everything here, it seems. Ah, here we go. Lethien. This should be interesting. First, I'm going to loot your house, as a standard protocol, of course. I'm sure you understand. And then I'll speak with you. The sunburnt man dips his head in greeting. An outsider never arrives alone, at least. That is what my mother always said. Seems she knew what she was talking about. He nods thoughtfully at his own words. I am Lethien. Welcome to Lethien's Crossing. Well, if it isn't Tunan's Fateminder, welcome back to the Crossing. Haven't seen you around here since you put the disfavored in charge of everything. Lethien looks you over. Must say my memory has been failing. Something I never thought I'd say, he winks. The way people talk about how you came through and drove the Brotherhood out of our town. You should be 10 feet tall and shoot lightning from your eyes. I seem to remember you being a little more human. Can't always tell the content of a pie from its crust, though, can you? Truthfully, the disfavored haven't been too bad. At least you didn't choose the Scarlet Chorus to be our overlords. But enough of my prattling. You didn't come here for a history lesson or get my opinion of your grandeur. He waves his hand dismissively at his previous statements. What can this old fool do for you? Can I ask you some questions about Lethien's Crossing? If you have questions about our settlement, I'm the one to ask. I'm the dubious distinction of being the oldest living resident of Lethien's Crossing. So I've been here for a lot of its history. Lethien smiles. Eyes, hips, hair, and hearing might be failing, but my mind still remembers everything that happened around here. What would you like to know about? I'll do my best to not go on too long about it. I know I have a problem keeping my conversation short. Tell me about your thoughts on the Bronze Brotherhood. They were here since the crossing was founded. Lethien herself hired them to protect the settlement when it was just getting started. A fledgling town in the shadow of the old walls. They did such a good job. She kept them on as our peacekeepers, and that's just how things went. At least until you decided to oust them and put someone else in their place. I can't say would have done the same, truth be told. Taking pay from two employers is always going to end badly if you can't make them both happy. On top of that, it seems lately that Raytoman, is traveling a path no one could see, and I don't want to see what's at the end of it. What do you think about them? Tell me what you think about this favor. Strict curfews, frequent searches, and no forgiveness for missed iron grain quotas. That's the ill of it. But the sentries keep constant vigil and treat us with respect, politeness even. Most of them call me elder and bow. Really? Wow, that's cool. If someone's going to be fishing in your pocket and taking your crops, may as well be kind about it. The disfavored are committed to honor and dignity in all dealings. It's definitely not the situation I would have chosen, but things can always be worse. The water might be up to your knees, but it can also be up to your nose, is what my grandmother would tell me. What of the Earthshaker mages? A few have passed through crossing in recent times, all headed south to the Stone Sea. And at least that's the word of it. The mages didn't stay for long. He gestured to the massive stone facade of the old walls, and I'm glad they kept on traveling. If some madman cast a spell that cracked the foundation of the old walls, praise Kairos it hasn't happened. What of the forge bound? They toll away at their forge houses day in and day out. Night out, rather. Kairos' forces keep them well guarded since they know how to work, binding ore into weapons harder than stone or bronze. I've delivered food and kindling to forge houses, but never had much contact with the artisan mages. How have your interactions with the Scarlet Chorus been? Can't say I have a strong opinion one way or another, really. They didn't seem to care much about leaving the settlement behind. Once the decision was made to let the disfavored have control, they left, and I haven't seen much of them since. What can you tell me about the Spire? Lethien shakes his head. Sometimes I wonder why Lethien thought it was a good idea to settle here. We already had a Bane problem before the Forge Bound set up here. Now they're using the crossing as one of their main forges. The Bane issue is even worse. Since the Banes are drawn to magical energy, we have to be on constant alert from them escaping. A Scarlet Chorus. Why is this highlighted? But I can't act. There's no there's no text here. Interesting. The Scarlet Chorus did what they could against the Bane that escaped years ago, but even the sheer numbers of the chorus aren't always good enough. How did you seal the door? I have a keystone that can be used to open or seal the door. One of Kairos' soldiers found it while they were looking for a way to seal the doors to keep the Bane from escaping. The sealed door is only a temporary measure, though. It holds the Bane back for now, but it won't last for much longer. I fear what will happen to Lethien's crossing if the Bane escape. If you have questions about the goings on in the crossing, I'm the one to ask. As I've been here for more of its history than anyone else, he smiles. What would you like to know? Who is Lethien? The biggest pain in the ass I ever knew? He turns bright red, blushing at his words, then lets out a huge guffaw. I suppose I shouldn't talk about my mother like that. She was a mediocre merchant, but a great leader. The war in the northern kingdoms cost her a very lucrative trade route up north, but she managed to earn trade stewardships from Kairos. And for a short time, she had a monopoly on grain, salt, and tin here in the tiers. What did my grandmother say? Give a blind man time and a pile of rocks, and eventually he'll hit a target. He shrugs. Not to say that she didn't deserve it, but I think luck played a bigger part in her success than actual talent. But Kairos gives, and Kairos takes. The next year, Lethien was stripped of her trade rights. Suddenly she has a large staff, but no goods to trade and no means to pay anyone. But she was a stubborn one, and knew if she just kept at it, eventually things would turn around for her. She figured the trade goods would come to us, and the location was good enough. It's crazy how that would happen. So she decided to concentrate on making an existing local settlement into the center of commerce for the tiers, and by the claws of B, she did just that. I thought she was crazy choosing a town nestled up to the old walls, but apparently she knew what she was doing. It wasn't long after that it was renamed Lethien's Crossing. With the bridges over the old walls, that was the only place to go if you wanted to take weeks off your trip. Eventually, she hired the Bronze Brotherhood to act as our local guards. We were big enough and had enough commerce to warrant the protection. Why did you settle here? Necessity. The ropes bridge let us cross the old walls, and with them, it didn't matter what trade rights we had. We'd be at a crossroads to the northern tiers, an unbeatable location. The siege of Arden and the bastard city ended up helping us. All the folk heading to the points east crossed through our little settlement, and many of them decided to stake a claim with us. By then, Lethien discovered there was iron in our rivers. She thought it would make us rich, but it also made us a target. The old walls don't make passage to the area easy, and our bridges cut days to weeks off a trip. Lethien's Crossing is the best bet to get your shipment to where it needs to go. Mix a mother load of iron into it, and then suddenly we had a target painted on us. Lethien was your mother? Of course. How did you think I became Reeve of the Crossing? It's certainly not my storytelling or charm. I may be the oldest living here, but that's certainly not a good enough reason to make someone a leader. Though, come to think of it, neither is being the offspring of a former leader, he laughs. But it's not like it or not, but like it or not, that's how things are. My mother was a wonderful woman. She might have not been the nicest person, and she might have been overfond of a dalliance here, or there, or there, or there, but who isn't? His face sobers. May her rest be ever free of disturbance. How did you build the old walls bridges? Lethien was the mastermind of that. She could tie a knot with one hand, one string. I remember watching her draw systems of ropes and knots in the sand, telling me what they would do when built. I thought she was crazy. Says she got the idea for bridges when seeing the galleys pulled out of the water into dock. Apparently the hardest part was getting an initial climbing team to brave the walls of old walls and set the first ties. But apparently you could pay a man enough rings from to overcome his fear of old wall predators. What is Kyrus interested in the crossing? Iron, plain and simple. Now we have the forge bound here, toiling away with the iron they pulled from the river. We're being squeezed for our resources, and if you're after a drink, better to squeeze fruit than a stone. And it would seem many people find us to be very juicy indeed. There was a merchant who tried to peddle iron rocks as magical because they came from the areas near the old walls. One of the people he sold to happened to be a disfavored courier. The courier then showed a rock to the forge-bound master, who immediately recognized his potential for making superior weapons. It was brought to Kyrus' attention, and soon afterwards, the soldiers and the forge-bound came to Lethien's Crossing. They came with such force, our options were either to comply with what they wanted or die. Why does the Brotherhood want Lethien's Crossing? Land? Breeding stock? They've been here longer than I have, so maybe they consider it a home too. But Kyrus' purse masters are no longer paying them to fight, and if a mercenary is killing for free, it's something suspect. In the end, I suppose it doesn't matter. Ray Tomon will never let go. He feels he owns his town, and he aims to have it be his. Okay, I think I'm gonna need directions around here. Okay. Interesting, kind of. I didn't really get that, but alright. Moonrise and sunrise are left and right, and they're just pretty much named because of their location. In any case... Whoa, what's this? Stirring visions? Oh, okay, so we need to actually... You'll need to resolve Lethien issue with the Bane in order to gain... Okay, I guess we're gonna be finding Bane soon. That'll be interesting. And I'm pretty sure they're in the old walls, considering all the dead, disfavored soldiers there. So... I say we head there next. But... I think we also take a bit of a break. Just to do some re-equipping and chopping, and that'll probably take a while. And I want to do that off camera because that's very boring to watch. So, I think what I'll be doing is... I also need to find some place to rest, but worst comes to worst, I could just use camping supplies inside a city, which does seem kind of weird, but oh well. But yeah. I think that'll bring us to a close this episode, so thank you very much for watching. My name is Crendus, and I'll see you next time.